See what comes out of this. So starting at PS2, always a classic. I think for these teams in particular, they are going to have just as hard a time as stopping Steve from mining freely. But they can definitely deal. So the thing about this is you're kind of forcing Apple Reviewer into a 2-on-1 most of the time while you're going for these farms. And so if Apple Reviewer does get caught in these 2v1s, Pelca and Tay's combos have been pristine at killing early. So you definitely need to be a little bit more active in trying to break him out of that.
I will also point out, while we're still a little bit early into this, this is one New Jersey player and one Massachusetts player versus another New Jersey player and another Massachusetts player. So this is like the pinnacle of this specific combo of players, which probably doesn't happen a lot in doubles, I have to imagine, but
probably not. Depends on how static.
Nonetheless.
I think as the game goes on later and later and doubles events are still being ran, you kind of have this when statics become a lot more common as the game goes later, it becomes a lot more seeing the same. But this is definitely one of those fun ones as we go back. So definitely a little bit of a lead here for Tay and Pelca early on, taking both of those stocks pretty quick together. And Tay still looking a little healthy here, but now stuck trying to land against Apple Reviewer, having a little bit of a tough time. Snake is on the other side of the map throwing bombs while they try to edge guard him. So
you might as well just be playing the camping game at this point with Snake. 132%. You know that Apple Reviewer in particular is going to want to rush you down at all times too. Snake does have the CQC to be able to fight against Apple Reviewer, but
that was that was a really good execution on that breakup, because if Tay was allowed to keep going there, that's probably a stock that you lose, but instead you turn it into a stock for yourself by timing that up perfectly to take that stock there. So that was really good, actually. Really good awareness of where you are versus where your partner is to just hit the Bayonetta there.
Great spike bringing Pelca down to earth again. Still has all three stocks at the moment, although Tay
going to lose
losing that stock, bringing us to now out of nowhere, pretty much.
Yeah.
Antimony Apple Reviewer suddenly being on the upfoot.
Yeah, definitely a quick turnaround time here. Definitely thanks to the early kill power that is the Mii Brawler up B. That move is pretty strong, and when you have a character like Steve who can get people up to the blast zone pretty quickly, you love that as a finisher. Very similar strategies, actually, from both these players, just because both teams are looking kind of to get those combos off the top for the kill. But going to be able to take one of Apple Reviewer's stocks here, so getting it a little bit more back into reasonable territory, but nothing crazy yet.
I think what needs to happen right now is they need to get Antimony stock, because Antimony was making a lot of problems and was not going down. Was up to 140, 150 range before being dealt with, and if that didn't get dealt with, that was just going to cause more and more problems. But now that that's down, you do have a confirmed stock lead, and you just get to work on this Steve stock before you lose Pelca, or Tay at this point, who will probably restock the second going down, I imagine. Never mind.
No longer available.
No longer available.
That is definitely the stock they were focusing on the most, too, is you got to get rid of that. You wanted the free stock to not be there. You do not want a fresh stock on this Bayonetta. So now in a... Ooh, falling down really low there, not able to get back up is Tay. So now Pelca is just not dead to that. I actually think they should have waited. So they should have probably waited for one more block up there. He's down there, and yeah, he's out.
Some attempt at a Snake recovery, I couldn't fully tell.
I believe it was Steve, little...
I saw the back air swing, and I think that broke Cypher. So you were forced into having to do one of the Snake bomb recoveries. I think it was a grenade attempt.
Yes.
But, yeah, we're going to have to,
Yeah, back air broke it up, and then,
the back air broke the Cypher and the grenade, which gave Pelca a chance, but had no time to react to it.
Yeah, no time. I think even then, you're so low, you're coming back up so low that, you know, it kind of, it's a rinse and repeat moment type deal. So, Antimony and Apple Reviewer taking game one. Definitely a bit of a comeback to be had there, so some good stuff. We'll see if there's any adjustments made. Not that I think so. They're definitely talking about something.
They're thinking about it.
Talking about how much they do not like Steve.
Let me double check. I don't think Tay really has secondaries. This would come up in my
I feel like the dub secondaries are always the hidden ones.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's definitely the kind of thing that wouldn't come up in my research that I did. But I'll check. Maybe something will surprise me. Yeah, no. I do not have any listed secondaries for Tay. if New Jersey people are in chat, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that.
But yeah, I think you just run it back here. I think both teams right now just taking a minute to go over strategy again. Because the one thing about doubles that you have a little bit more singles is you have someone to talk to about what you want your game plan to be.
Right.
And so, you know, you kind of both go in there with a game plan. That's why sometimes in between games it's a bit longer just because you're trying to talk to your partner like, hey, this went wrong, this went right. So let's see if any adjustments can be made to give us a game 3 coming up here. Or to force a game 3, game 2 coming up here.
I kind of want to build on what you were just talking about a little bit, too. Obviously, doubles is not as, like, serious. I don't want to call it unserious.
Doubles is better than singles.
Right, but it's not...
But we're not ready for that.
It's not the game mode that you're like, oh, I gotta 110% this. But there's still that point where having someone else to talk to at any given time gives you that mental reset. You have an anchor who can be like, hey, you're being unreasonable right now. Just take a breath, get back in it. And so even that, just the little things like that will help you in the long run of doubles.
Yeah, so... That's always the fun part about doubles, much more the reason why I like it so much. Antimony losing the first stock there, I believe, to a dash attack, which was kind of crazy. So getting sent off the side there. Now, you know, but they have tacked on a lot of percent, especially onto the Snake here. Snake has been taking a bit of a beating. I think landing is the big issue here, but Anvil going to take the Bayonetta first stock.
Pelca doing really good to survive the downtime there while GrlyTeenQueen was still coming back up. Somehow still not dead at 154, despite both Sean and Mason trying to take down Pelca.
Yeah, Snake definitely goes to the gym, has a bit of beef to him, so a little harder to kill. You naturally, when you're watching on streams and stuff, you do see Snakes living to some crazy percent sometimes. Mostly because, too, Snake can always get back to the stage, so you really do have to just put him down. Forward throw, they're actually going to take Apple Reviewers first stock. Not every day you see that, but when you have that much rage, it will be good.
There is also a lesser aspect of it, but still an aspect of it that leads to these crazy survival percents, is you don't have the 1v1 multiplier in effect, so there's less damage across the board, which leads to slightly less knockback across the board, and means you kind of just live longer. But Minecart will claim everything.
Yeah, Minecart dash attack will clear that up. I think
a ferryman to hell.
So, but yeah, Pelca having just a fresh stock here and able to take Antimony's second stock here, putting him at one spot is just not exactly where you want to be. Antimony then deciding to blow themselves up with TNT.
Trying to set up an edge guard and just not getting the timing right.
Yeah, not quite there yet. So doing a good job there trying to use the blocks to force Bayo to recover a certain way, but not able to get any big punish off of it. Actually punishing Pelca on the other side with Minecart, and now just caught in a blender, and Apple Reviewer dies for it.
Again, Pelca just not dying. Blessed this game to not die, which is good when you're trying to make the comeback and get on the board to push for a game 3. You want that kind of situation.
For sure.
It is best of 5. It says so in the top corner.
Yes. Pelca also living that neutral B, or side B there, too, actually. So, stuck at 147 now. Apple Reviewer getting pinged around by Bayonetta. Bayonetta doing a great job here, just getting these small little 2-3 hits in that really do rack on the percent. And then you can look for, you know, these bigger explosive ones that will definitely kill you. Bayonetta mashing air dodge there to not get hit by Steve on the knockback. And now just, trying to see who can take this next stock. Antimony and Apple Reviewer. Ooh, Apple Reviewer not able to make that back. Steve up there going to kill that. Steve, okay, getting both stocks. Now 2 fresh stocks coming in. As Antimony tries to win this back. Has a diamond and has a piece of gold and plenty of cobble to work with. So we'll see what ends up happening here.
This would be a pretty legendary comeback, I have to say, though. 130% at this point versus 2. A fresh stock and a nearly fresh stock, but yeah, Snake up tilt.
I want to point out that they landed the witch time there, and they had plenty of time to do it. And I think Pelca looked like he wanted to go in for the kill, and then but saw that, so right here. Pelca's like, oh, I can kill this, and then sees that she's starting up smash, and goes, all right, no, I'm actually going to back out here, and then they end up air dodging out of the up smash, so.
That was the angle for the Snake back air, if I'm not mistaken. And
that looks like exactly what he was going for.
But yeah, you don't even on a fresh stock, if you can avoid it, you kind of just don't want to land on a random out smash.
Yeah.
So wise choice to not do that, but like it doesn't super matter at that percent and that point. No shade, no shame to Antimony. However, the game was kind of sold at that point. We know which way that was going.
Yeah. So getting into game 3 here. Don't really expect any mix-up in characters. Probably not that much in stage either, to be fully honest with you.
I think the only person here with a secondary is Antimony, and that would be Wendy. And if we see Wendy come out in doubles,
I'll lose it.
The last bastion of humanity has fallen, and hell is coming to swallow us all.
I don't really know if that's entirely true. I think it's a bit of an overreaction, but we'll get there.
No. It's definitely accurate. Oh, hey, we got bans. We got actual bans this time, and it's the same bans that I think we've been seeing for the most part. We're closing
think you
up.
Don't want to play on FD in doubles, like, period.
It's not fun.
Like, especially when if one character can throw something, you're not playing FD dubs. That's just how this works.
Yeah. You get Snake just chucking grenades the entire time. And
yeah, exactly.
Suddenly you lose like a fourth of the stage to a grenade.
So, and a fourth of...
There could be two at one time.
Yeah. A fourth of FD is a lot. So... Yeah. Bayonetta getting caught in an early combo here. Interesting that I love when players sometimes run in and just go ham, try to go ham in doubles into two people, and then you just get caught in a blender, and you're like, oops, I took 50% because I just ran forward.
Yeah, PS2, it's the classic easy stage to work with, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah, definitely for dubs, it feels a lot more balanced in dubs than it does sometimes in singles, but definitely just a tried and true classic at this point. And so this here, we're seeing a bit more of a kind of a cluster this game. So you're gonna have your two separate 1v1s where, you know, eventually you run over and try to grab them, using a grenade there to save himself out of that. 'Cause I don't think he dies, but he gets close to it, maybe where, you know, when he's falling, he dies to a move that's coming up. And now, yeah, Steve getting time to mine here. Has found the diamond already. Not as fast as the first time we saw Antonio on screen. That was a 27-second diamond we found. But definitely working on here to build that up. Gonna take out his teammate with the minecart, unfortunately. Kind of not being aware, but taking out Tay's first stock with a back air there.
They were both trying to go for the stock on Tay there, and the Apple Reviewer... Minecart is definitely more committal. Apple Reviewer just kind of ran in there, not really looking... Did not look both ways before crossing the street and got ran over by a teammate.
Yes, so now everyone has lost their first stock, so now they're going to work on building percent in these second stocks now to see how it goes. Definitely, it feels a little bit more slower paced. We haven't seen those explosive combos from either side, really, where someone loses a stock super early. Definitely more just like a game of attrition and grinding it out, which you would think benefits the Snake a little bit more, but there is a Steve, so... okay, so Apple Reviewer finally did it, and Bayonetta was going for an up B, and definitely about to try to kill Antimony off the top, but using the perfect angle to only hit Bayonetta at the very end of it, and taking Bayonetta's stock there is so good positional awareness from Apple Reviewer.
It's a pocket Shoryuken is what it is.
Yeah.
You get so much out of that thing.
So, definitely love that. I was wondering how many times we were going to see that, because the burden of because if you mess it up, you are going to kill you and your teammate, or you're going to kill Bayonetta and your teammate. And if you can time it so you just kill the Bayonetta, you are so golden, and that is what happened there. But now two more quick stocks coming in, and Pelca still with a relatively healthy-ish stock, at a bit of a deficit here.
Yeah, as you said, that took 20 more percent. Definitely at the point where a good Apple Reviewer combo could definitely put an end to it. Steve Minecraft also with the diamonds, always a threat at taking a stock at that kind of percent.
Because I'm pretty sure all of the diamond aerials break the upbeat, right?
They do, yes.
Yeah.
There's more armor against multi-hit, but none of Steve aerials are multi-hit, so I don't know the specifics in doubles, but the upbeat going to take it regardless, and Tay going down at the same time, that's pretty bad.
Thank God did not buffer the free stock, because I think you would have got caught there, and we would be dealing with a Tay fresh stock instead of a Snake one.
I've mentioned it before, but, Pelca having a little bit more experience against these players, gonna be preferable where you can get it.
So that's another fun combo they have that we haven't really seen land yet, but you have the multi-hit move that pops them up, and then Steve can just come in with a pickaxe to bring them back down.
This is like a nightmare. I'm a Snake main, so I'm kind of empathizing with Pelca a little bit there. And just watching the platform camping while there's two sharks on either side of you, like, what do you do?
Yeah,
you kind of just damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah, for sure. Come in with a pickaxe to bring them back. Replay coming up here. See Snake trying to land here back onto the stage, and gets forward smash forward, losing that stock there.
But yeah, All right, the bans are coming through slightly different this time. We're taking out Smashville instead of Town.
I think that's fair. I think in dubs, you really don't want to deal with small stages. It feels so cluttered, and, you know, both these teams kind of don't want to, like, Apple Reviewer obviously wants to be on top of you the entire time, but, like, Steve doesn't really want that, and so when the zone break is, like, you know, have that much less space, you definitely don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
So, game 4 coming up here, so we'll see where we go.
Looks like PS2 from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Yep. Keep it classic at this point. You know, it's working. Keep it working.
So this is the interesting part where, you know, if you can find this angle to kind of get in before you can keep Apple Reviewer out and, you know, kind of fight with the Steve from a long distance, it works out well for you. But now, you know, once they get in, you just have to be ready for this much damage coming out very quickly.
Yeah, it's a very fast game, this one. But we're seeing, I feel like this is the fastest we've seen it thus far.
Yeah, for sure.
Has been a lot more explosive. You know, Antimony and Apple Reviewer are at threat of going into Grands, and you're seeing Tay and Pelca definitely waking up a little bit more to that fact, trying to get a push to Game 5. Currently, it's working out really well for them.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely taking an early Apple Reviewer stock is always nice because though Apple Reviewer is going to be the one burning through most of your stocks in this game plan, taking an early one is always a good thing. I mean, if you can take a stock when you only have 63% on your stock take on Pelca, that's always a good thing. Tay not quite dying on the top there. So
we're seeing Pelca still kind of retreating. It's still in the 1v1-ish phase where they're still doing that individual fighting. The most we're kind of seeing the two work together is Pelca going over to Tay to put a C4 on to just say, all right, we're swapping.
Yeah.
Go deal with the other one, put the C4 on him, and I'll get him. Whoa!
So yeah, using the smash attack to break out of the move there is always a fun one.
The angle on that was crazy.
Yeah, no, it was. I think combined knockback angles in this game are always kind of crazy to go off of. It's impossible to tell which way you're going to go unless you're super experienced with them.
I want some insane labber to just go through all the possible combined knockback angles and find the craziest
This
ones.
is back and forth, and it's not quite a thing in this game, but Robin used to have a fun one with Arc Thunder.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Crazy little move. But yeah, getting into the swing of things here. What are we at right now? We've still got a 5-4 stock lead. 128-38. Pelca close to going out. Tay going to take out Pelca stock, actually. That's not a great look. And we're seeing the Dennis getting that revenge on Tejuice. So we have even stocks at the moment. About as even as you can get. All 3 stocks here looking all 4 stocks looking very fresh. But Pelca and Tay are going to be the ones to get the first swing of things. Slightly stronger lead at the moment. You've got Antimony up at about 80%. They are trying to work down Tay's stock first. It's a little bit interesting to see, but we're going kind of back to that center. We're seeing center stage being held best right now by Antimony and Apple Reviewer. Pelca and Tay kind of having to just work to get it, but just as I say it, you know, swapping right back, and we're seeing the C4 to swap things around as well. And we're going to come down, break some things up. Bayonetta blowing up the Bayonetta, and the restock's going to go both ways. I think that's honestly a great equalizer. Pelca does have less percent than Antimony, and you can see Tay immediately trying to take Antimony out at the same time. Great find there, honestly. I think that was a really big brain play. I'm a little surprised they went for it. It's a bit risky when you're, you know, potentially going to fall on the loser side off of it, but I respect that kind of play and that kind of hustle. So let's see how that works out for them. Getting the jabs to get through. Pelca, though, Pelca's got to play a lot of defense, and we're seeing Antimony do much of the same. It's kind of just Tay and Apple Reviewer going at each other at the moment, but the minecart is going to find Pelca. That leaves Tay to get both these stocks. The diamond has just been recrafted. So if you're Tay, you're going to want to go for Antimony first, but you're gonna have Apple Reviewer in the way the entire time. The Gambit did not pay off with that C4. Which time is going to be able to find Antimony, but going to be able to pick that right back up with the forward smash, and that will be game 4 going to Antimony and Apple Reviewer. We're taking it 3-1 over Pelca and Tejuice.
Huge win for them. I love seeing getting on the grand side.